A bit of a bombshell. The Lloydminster Bandits' undefeated record, no more.
Yeah, the team will be docked 4 points after dressing an ineligible player. Now, the games in question were from October 18th against Onion Lake and October 19th against Killam. Now, the players' paperwork was not approved by Hockey Alberta in that time for those games, which means the Bandits forfeit both contests. When team management found out, they admitted the mistake and received an 8-game suspension. Now, the standard punishment here is 1 year. No one from the Bandits would comment on camera, but they did say the team was notified before Wednesday's 2-1 win and that it would not be a distraction. The Bandits still have an opportunity to appeal the decision. All right, the Lloydminster Bobcats are back in action tonight after coming off a tough 3-2 shootout loss to the Spruce Grove Saints. Still, the team is on a 5-game point streak and hopes to continue that against Grand Prairie tonight. Matt Schumont has more.
On Wednesday, the Bobcats saw their 4-game winning streak come to a halt. But it wasn't for the lack of effort, as the Cats ran into a hot goalie, putting up 34 shots on net, including 14 in the third.
I thought we stayed with them the first and second period. It was a very well-played game, and I thought in the third period we really took control. Physically, finishing our checks. Our forecheck was dynamic last night in the third period, which created a lot of opportunities.
I thought we played really well. We stuck with them, played to our game and played to our strengths, and we had it. Just their goalie played really well and just couldn't capitalize on some opportunities. But overall, we played really well and just couldn't get the OT or shootout winner. So.
It wasn't all bad news, though. The Bobcats were able to pick up a point to extend their streak to 5 games with at least getting a point, and they did it against one of the hottest teams in the AJHL.
Every point matters in this league, and whether it's the start of the season or end of the season, it's going to pay dividends in the end, so we just got to keep working hard, and hopefully it pays off in the end.
A point's a point, and you know, we still work. We're 5 point. We got 5 games with points, and so that's important. And we're going into a big weekend here, and it's going to be exciting. So.
The Orange and Black will now look to make it 6 straight games with at least getting a point when they host the Grand Prairie Storm in a pair of games starting tonight. And with the Storm just 4 points back of the Cats, this will be a great chance for the Bobcats to start making some space between them and GP.
We have to start opening a gap up. We said all along we wanted to be in the middle of the pack somewhere, and we wanted to develop and take steps forward as we moved into that second half of the season. So we got to get ourselves there, situated there. I mean, we're there right now, but we don't have a lot of gap between the teams behind us. In any given situation where you win a couple or lose a couple, there's dramatic changes in the stats, especially in the north. So
I think that they're going to be just as hungry and coming into our barn trying to do the same thing that we did to them. So if you know what I mean, if we're gonna play our best, and but if we're not ready, they're definitely gonna come and grab 4 points.
Puck drop for tonight's game is at 7:30. Matt Schumont, Newcap Sports.
All right, the Lakeland Rustlers women's basketball team enter the season with great expectations, and with 2 games on the road this weekend, the aim is to come back with a pair of wins.
Well, finally, we get to go to league. We start out on the road, which is always interesting when you have a bunch of new kids to see how they're going to take it with the road trip, playing back-to-back different opponents. So it'll be a new process for a lot of these kids. Hopefully our vets can lead them through it.
After 2 months of training and exhibition games, the Lakeland Rustlers are excited to kick off the ACAC season against St. Mary's and Lethbridge College. 2 South teams, 4 very big points.
The most important thing for us is that, yes, we do come home with the 2 wins, not just because it's good for our record and puts us in better playoff position, but so that it puts us in a better position as a team in order to build on that so we can do better later in the season.
We went 6-3 against the South, so we added a lot of points. Against the North, we didn't do as well. So I would love for us to come out with 4 points, at least a split. Worst case scenario, I think we're definitely capable of sweeping. It's whether or not we come to play on that second night that I'm a little worried about right now.
Lethbridge College will be contenders in the ACAC, and Coach King sees Saturday's game as a measuring stick.
This is a team that's probably going to be hanging around that Final 4 nationally ranked group all year, as with us. So we'll kind of say, okay, here's where we got to be, or here's where we are after this weekend. They're big inside, they're very athletic at the guard spot, very similar to our team, so it should be a real battle.
The most important thing is coming out on that good note on Friday, because the harder that we play on Friday and the better we do, leaves a better taste in our mouth. So I think that coming out with a win on Friday is going to be essential for us to gain the momentum that we need to win on Saturday.
All right, sticking with basketball, they're the Rustlers men's team. They're young, undersized, and banged up entering the ACAC season. Now, not to mention, Points will come at a premium. A long list of reasons to give up, but don't expect the Rustlers to anytime soon.
The Lakeland Rustlers enter the new season facing some challenges.
Our bigs are not only on their sides, but we're inexperienced if you look at just the years of eligibility kind of thing. So we're going to have to also play as smart as we can.
We're not the biggest team on the court, so like we have to do is just play defense and run the ball, and that's basically it for us this year.
And it's defense that head coach Tom Groat is preaching.
That's going to be our calling card all year, is that we're going to get it done on the defensive end of things. Takes less pressure off the offense, and hopefully that'll translate into wins.
You have bad shooting nights, but defense is something that you can do every single night. There's nothing that can come out and be like, I'm going to play bad defense tonight. It just comes down to how hard you want to work. We can make sure the team scores 60 points every single night.
The Rustlers open up the season against two South teams, a pair of wins that could go a long way in making the playoffs.
We get 2 points for every win with a South team, whereas we only get 1 point for a win in the North, because we only see the South teams once. The guys know the importance of this weekend, not only being our first weekend, but the importance of the 4 points that are out there to be had.
The Holy Rosary Raiders wrapped up the regular season with an impressive 6-1 record to finish first in the South Division, earning a first-round bye. And after a week's rest, they're ready to go. Matt Schumont has more.
Heading into the season, there was a lot of speculation on what the Raiders offense could do without former quarterback Colton Hippie. Well, those questions were answered as Carl Teledetsky and the rest of the Raiders offense would guide them to a 6-1 regular season record.
We didn't execute great at the start of the season, but it took us, a while to get going, and now the kids seem to have figured things out and they're able to move the ball a bit.
I would say we really came together as a team by our second or third game. We had no points scored against us in our third game, and that really gave us a whole new view on this team. We have a lot of talent here that's just, it's unrefined. And then as our season went on, we started to refine it, where we started to realize what we were really capable of. And, when it came to game situations, we just pulled out all the stops and made things happen.
And with that regular season performance, the Raiders finished first in the South Division, and not only did it give themselves the all-important bye right to the semifinals, it helped the team rest and heal a couple injuries.
Bye week was great. I myself had a couple of bruises, cut some bruises around. Bye week's nice to focus. It's not taking a week off. We just take a week to get more technical, work on the things we really, really need to work on. Then this week we go back at it to full practice.
Having that bye week is just absolutely crucial for any team going into the playoffs. You got a time to rest up players that are hurt. You got a chance to go over things that you think are going to give you trouble. You can refine your offensive and defensive strategies. It's a week where you can really fine-tune things.
Now the Black and Silver prepare for a tough test against the Cold Lake Royals. In their lone meeting this year, the Raiders edged the Royals 21-7.
Seeing them late in the season was better than seeing them early on, so we know because they adjusted, that we adjusted. This game should be really close because last time they had a couple oopsies.
Their last couple of games, they haven't necessarily had to dig too deep into their bag of tricks, so we haven't seen anything new. But we'll expect the unexpected and be prepared for whatever they throw at us.
Matt Schumont, Newcap Sports.
Now we're going to shift to the Border City's other team. The Lloyd Comp Barons are also looking to reach the finals. However, they'll be in tough when they travel to St. Paul to face the defending champions. Matt Schumont again has more.
In their quarterfinal game last week, the Barons were able to pull off a 24-12 win over the Bonnyville Voyageurs. However, the team says they did not play up to their standards.
I don't think we were all there at all. We just were short to get it started, of course. That's how we've usually been this season, which we've been trying to change. And yeah, we just couldn't get going in the run game, which forced us to go to the pass, which eventually came up successful for us.
It was sluggish. We didn't really practice to our fullest potential. We didn't play to our full potential. We started out of the gates slow, and the whole game we just didn't have the right mindset.
Now, despite not showing up with their best performance, the Barons are hoping that this extra game will give them a leg up on a St. Paul team that had last week off.
Last year we had the bye and we came into Cold Lake a little cold, and this year we're going to be nice and warm, and it just should be a good game. The
Barons and Lions met way back in week 1 with St. Paul getting the better of the comp 30-28. And with a do-or-die game, the Barons will be laying everything on the line.
We know they're going to be a lot better from week 1 because it is week 1. Teams have progressed throughout the season, so we're just going to have to bring our A game, and they're going to bring their A game too. So it's just who's going to win the one-on-one battles.
For some of us, it's our last game, so we really don't want to finish it with a loss, and we're going to play as hard as we can. Like, it's your last game, put everything out on the field.
Matt Schumont, Newcap Sports.